yeah. U.P.K shit, man, One West. Hey. I'm a U.P.K nigga, I'm stuck in my ways. That's on them, letting cowards fill up they ranks. Goddamn, lost tribes got them following waves. Loyalty a lifestyle, nigga, I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm a saint, no New Orleans, it's going up. Next spot, we at the B&B. I'm turned up, I'll pull up in the SRT. Burn a rubber, hey, U.P.K shit. Look, met her at the club, told her pull up to the lobby. She know I'm in the coat, we're all black, no Illuminati. This my other half shit, I can't move without it. These my motherfucking brothers, yeah, what I'm gonna do without them, yeah. If it's beef, I can't wait to sink my teeth in. Niggas going overboard, they off the deep end. Why you tripping off that hoe? That's some weak shit. Told him put me in the game cause I love defense. Yeah, put me in the game, coach. Fuck you thought, he let his colors fly. He ain't cut, we cut him off. Yeah, bounce out, let my fringes swing. Yeah, I'm a dog, and she say she find me interesting. Yeah, want me to call, put me in the game, coach. Fuck you thought, he let his colors fly. He ain't cut, we cut him off. Hey, bounce out, let my fringes swing. Yeah, I'm a dog, and she say she find me interesting. Yeah, want me to call, I ain't gotta settle, I got options, ma. No, I stand on business, my name not Tizar. I'll pop you with this pocket rock. Feed a nigga shells like a taco truck. Hey, this bitch got sound effects, it go pew pew pew. I ain't trippin', I'm no drink, got bottles in a room. I'm in Durham, North Carolina, bitch, it's 12 a.m. Look at them, they ain't none of us and we ain't them. I told him put me in the game, coach. Fuck you thought, he let his colors fly. He ain't cut, we cut him off. Hey, bounce out, let my fringes swing. Yeah, I'm a dog, she say she find me interesting. Yeah, want me to call, put me in the game, coach. Fuck you thought, he let his colors fly. He ain't cut, we cut him off. Hey, bounce out, let my fringes swing. Yeah, I'm a dog, she say she find me interesting. Want me to call, yeah, yeah. U.P.K shit, man, you already know what it is. It's the 55th annual Passover, man, turn up. We gon' do this shit the U.P.K way, not the other way. You hear me? Yeah, yeah.
Dear hater, you for real hater? Must not be on like you say, must not be getting no real paper. One West, nigga. Dear hater, you for real hater? Must not be on like you say, must not be getting no real paper. Nigga can't have more than you, you know them niggas will still hate you. Damn. Those are characteristics in a pussy nigga nature. Talk that shit behind my back, but be on mute when it's the facial. Smiling in my face, but you can't hide all of that hatred. I'm too silent, you a snake. I see that shit a mile away. Man of war, and I'm not sorry, blame that shit on U.P.K. Pussy ass nigga, you a pussy ass nigga. Oh, you confused, you think pussy ass nigga. This ain't drag racing, why you got that drag with you? I'm a bad kidder, pull up with two bad bitches. Masculinity be the reason she into me. She say she loving all think you standing on the wrong thing, and you falling anyway. One West, Lost Tribe.
One West World.
Right. Everything is lawful. One West World.
The pressure on, I remember bringing nothing home. Make it little just to make it known. Steady, ready, better watch your tone. When I was 5'7", I was breaking bone. 5'7", now I want the chrome. 9'11", I was in my zone. Lose the argument or lose your dome. Keep cool, ain't no running up. How damn, now I'm coming up. They coming to kiss me, you dumb or what? You drawing, you done enough. They told me don't rush it, just wait my time. Paying attention, I see the signs. Coming right to me like Amazon. No time for distractions, I'm on the grind. Little shorty is sick and she knows she fine. Got a couple of so never mind. They throwing the shade cause they know I shine. Reason I'm going in overtime. You stuck in your ways, you keep fantasizing. I just go get it, don't think about it. Don't make it an issue, it ain't a problem. Not too much talking, just organizing. One West Word, no way around it. Heavy so you know I'm grounded. Too sturdy, I'm well rounded. Tunnel vision, I don't see a challenge. Get a minute, I'm killing it. Case closed, I don't need a gavel. Know you hate it, don't even matter. New page, still the same
Some
time.
people might, but just never forget that I do not. Always have that fresh in your mind. That I feel absolutely nothing for your pain and your problem. Because I know that all of your pain and problems are a test to make you stronger.
I live in a world where we coincide. If you're not ready to stay inside, you drowning away, you gonna ride. You stick to the end, you get glorified.
Seeing if you're gonna step up into
One West World.
you're gonna run
You stick
away.
to the end, you get glorified. Let's make it official, I'm one of them. One of the greatest, is no exempt. It took me a minute to figure it out. I was struggling, get it made a man. I shuffled the deck and I played my hand. Just give me a reason to put them on you. Didn't believe that I had me a vision. Should I believe that you niggas loyal? We giving up game, they fumbling plays. I'm tired of talking, I'm racked out. Before that we started, they tapped out. I jumped in my duffel and blacked out. What you witnessing is elevation. Glory road to my destination. The haters, it's a celebration. And I put that on my reputation. You in the fall, this a demonstration. Get sick and I know they hate it. One West World every season. Hot boy, this dedication. I'm giving game, I don't need favors. Go against us, you won't see the danger. You ain't family, you a damn stranger. I'll beat your ass, I don't need a baby. I don't got time for excuses. I'm plotting on making the killer. I'm getting the feeling, they know that I'm coming, I'm running. Let's get to the business. I was still playing my post. Taking the rim like diesel. Don't run with too many people. I don't feel none of us equal. None of us equal.
And there are some brothers and sisters that know that so much, they would never leave. They would never abandon you. Since you have to stay alive here, they'll stay alive with you.
I live in a world where we coincide. If you're not ready to stay inside, you drowning away, you gonna ride. You stick to the end, you get glorified.
One West World.
You stick to the end, you get glorified.
They're one West. 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 They're one West.
You ready? Let me know when. Yahweh Shabrak Thumb, Yahweh Matan, by Shem Yahweh Shadow, the sister, all the brothers. You all know DC scripture breakdown class Wednesday. We're going to be rocking it out tonight. The difference between Jew, Israelite, and Jewish and Israeli. Because thanks to the bastard that dwell in Ashdod, everybody see us with the shield and think we Israeli genocide supporters. And for the life of me, if I wanted to be mistaken for anything from the Jewish man, would be his bank account, not his crimes. I wish somebody would say, "Hey, that's was he one who makes Star Wars? Spielberg? Is it Spielberg? George Lucas? Spielberg? Hey, give him $50 trillion. I would have more appreciate that than you was looking at me like I ain't shit yesterday, and now you're looking at me like I ain't shit and I'm committing genocide today, which is absolutely ridiculous. So we're going to be going into the basic fundamentals of it for those people who are ignorant. And ignorant, I mean it in the true sense of the word, absolutely not knowing what the hell this is and who we are and who God's people are. So, share the stream, share it in all the groups, share it everywhere, so that people far and wide could understand who the hell we are. You know what I mean? You all remember some months ago, You had that Palestinian woman who drove the car into the school in Indianapolis, right? Because she see the shield and she just felt she was frustrated. She drove past all the synagogues, though. She drove right past every synagogue in Indianapolis, but the one with the shield of David on there that was inhabited by the children of slaves, she decided to take out her Virginian luxuries on. She probably never been to Virginia, but there's a term called Virginian luxuries, which is reference to during the time of slavery, the oppressor, if he's frustrated, he could legally just physically assault an Israelite, one of the 12 tribes of Israel who's in slavery until death, until he dies. And it was called a Virginian luxury because this was just the this was just the privilege of being an oppressor. This was just the privilege of being a so-called white man, and he felt he had the right to do these things. You get me? Because we all good with the sound? You sure? All right. No sweat. Let me know online if you're too wild with the sound, or if the sound is off in any way. Let me know. Your type of one for good sound. If it's no sound, put no sound. Let us know what it is we're dealing with. All right. Of course, if anybody have any questions too, let's we could get them as well. And we run. What's going on, Warrior? I'm coming on with it.
It's a question. This was a brother. He called himself battling, but he just didn't know. So the question he had, in the form of his ignorance, is: in the kingdom.
Hold on. You sure you all right there? Not a wood shop, huh? You sound like you're in the wood shop over there. Go ahead.
It's like, in the kingdom, will we be able to take the land of heathens away from them like they took our land?
In the kingdom, will we be able to take land away from the heathens like they took our land? I'm trying to get the scripture for you. It's the back of my answer. All right. Give me 1 Corinthians 6. I'll tell you the verse. Give me 1 Corinthians 6, and I'll tell you the verse. And then also Genesis 1. In fact, let's start with Genesis 1 and 36. 1 and 26. My fault. 1 and 26. All right. Because monitor the chat too, all right? And just no question is a dumb question in this class. All right. None. Just any question that come up, any comment that come up, please feed it. Feed it up.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 26.
Uh-huh.
And God said, let us make men in our image, after our likeness.
Right, so stop right there. The Lord said, let us make man in our image, in our likeness, meaning what? Does it mean that he was making mankind to look like him? Go ahead.
La, sir. Meaning that he was making a man to represent him on the earth.
With his power and authority.
Come on.
Right, so that's what man was supposed to be. Right, and here, this is the 6th day. This is not Adam's creation, but this is the creation of mankind. Like in the days before he created all the animals, all the birds and the alligators and cows and whatever. Here he's creating mankind. He said, let us make man in our image. In the image, like how you say, like how people say, online you have an image, but you're not like that in real. Or he projects this image. He has an image on the basketball court. He has this type of image or personality or trait or character. The Lord wanted man to be in his image, meaning in the image of the Lord, in his character, in his likeness, in his how he operates. Really, to be concise, with his power and authority. That's what the Lord wanted man to have. Go ahead.
And let them have dominion over the fish of the seas.
Right, and let them, because why he's creating mankind, he's creating man here. So he's saying let them. This is not Adam's creation, but this is the creation of mankind. So he said let them have what?
Have dominion.
Have what?
Dominion.
Have what?
Dominion.
What does dominion mean? You should get that. Look it up. Go ahead.
Rulership.
Let me get a definition, a specific definition. You're right. You're right, it's rulership. But let's get a specific definition. You need to swap out the mics. Man, give me the mic. I'll throw it against the wall. That's my solution to most things. I come from the era where it's to bang the TV for it to work. I come from that era. I don't know too much about these fancy equipment, but I know you throw it against the wall is gonna work. Yeah, man. So even if you take it on and off and switch the batteries out and stuff like that, no, the power down, switch it on and off. I don't know. How is the sound now? Online, how is the sound now? Is it better? All right. You have dominion. You might as well say it nice and loud, so this mic up here. The what? The power. Dominion. One of the facets of dominion. One of the functions of dominion is to have power. Power is what? Is ability to do something. You have the not just ability. You have the ability to do something. You might have to help the brother out. You see, you working, right? So you can put it over there for him. All right. Power is the ability and the permission to execute that ability at will. That's what power is. He has the power to do this thing where you have the ability to do it, and you have the permission or the green light to act on that ability. Go ahead.
The power or right of governing and controlling sovereign authority.
Say it, read one more time. Bukwash, that kind of true more because I could hear it. Yeah, that kind of true more. Yeah, you have headphones? No, you might want to get some headphones to check it. You ain't getting no feedback online? We good to go? No, I'm talking about feedback from the people. Are they saying we're to WAB now? Okay, no sweat. I mean, you could try the mic later on and let me know if the sound comes back, if the static comes back. Just tell us, all right? And we'll switch it out. Go ahead, Warren. You think we're good now? You sure? Okay, no sweat.
The power or right of governing and controlling.
The power or the right of governing and controlling. That's what dominion is, right? What's the root word of dominion? Domain. You understand? Like eminent domain. You have the power. Man was supposed to have power and right of controlling or what?
Controlling. Come on. And then another definition is sovereign authority.
Sovereign authority, which means just, unleashed authority, just your authority unto yourself. You have dominion. You could rule. So the Lord said, let them have dominion because they're in his image and the Lord rules everything.
Right.
So let them have dominion. Go ahead.
Over the fish of the sea.
So they'll have power. What's the definition? Power and the right to control. It started back. No sweat.
Power or right of governing and controlling.
They have power or right of governing and controlling the fish of the sea. Go ahead.
And over the fowl of the air.
And they have the power and the right of control and governing over the fowl of the air. And over the cattle. So what does the power of governing and right of control, what does that mean when it comes to the fish of the sea and the fowl of the air and of the cattle? What does that look like? Shapat? Let's say nice and loud so you pick it up here. You could put them in order. So the fish of the sea, they break it down for me with the fish of the sea with order. We're putting them in order. You could kill it. You could kill it in the quash. You could kill it for now. Maybe. Okay, hold on. Is that one off? Okay, is the sound bad now that I'm talking? It's bad. Hold on 1 second. All right. Testing. 1 2. 1 2 1 2. Is it still like that? Testing 1 2 1 2. Let me know how that sounds. Because in a minute, listen, in a second, I'm about to have power and dominion over this damn mic. I'm about to tell this mic what it can go and what it can do. Check. 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 1 2. Is it picking up on the damn thing? Testing 1 2 1 2. Is this? Let's get. Get rid of it. I tested 1 2 1 2. We'll be right back. So no, what about now? We good? Hold on. Having the power of governance and the right of governing or control over the sea, what would that look? What would that be like, Shapat? Just remember trying, elevate your voice so this mic picks it up.
Come. So like the sharks come in. They mainly don't come in shallow water. They in the deep water.
Okay.
These animals.
But okay, how does man have dominion? How does man govern that? How does man govern the fish of the sea? How does he exercise power and the right of power to control the fish of the sea?
It's like
I'll come to you. Go ahead.
It's like by learning their habits and kind of like using our brain to think of ways to make them do what we want.
I got you. I'll take that. Go ahead, Warrior.
So for those,
nice and low too, all right.
For the animals, we have the right to kill them and eat them.
For any animal, you have the right to kill it. For any animal, you can take the animal life. You get the point? It's not, of course, the eating would come with the law.
Right.
You get the point? But any animal, you have the right to do that. Example, in agriculture, forget the exact name of the practice. Somebody could look it up. But in agriculture, when there's not just agriculture, but wildlife management, when there's an invasive species, to control that invasive species, the oppressor does one or two things. He either, number one, just slaughters them all, or introduces a competitive species to control the invasive species. You get the point? He introduces a predator species to it to control the growth of that species. You get the point? That's having dominion. And it's having dominion over, all the earth and everything. You put that on the step, please, brother. But having dominion over the earth and everything else. So now higher up, if you don't mind. Higher up, if you don't mind. If you don't mind, just pay attention to what it is, all right? And just push it high up on there. It'll be too wild. That's fine. Yeah, that's good right there. All right. Same thing with the fowls of the air. All right. Till this day, you go to airports, they have certain devices on the runway that might emit a sound or some type of wave that discourage birds from flying over. Why? Because when a plane taking off, you don't want the chance of a bird getting in the wing, into the engine. And there's devices all around. You ever notice you don't see them too much on the tarmac? They have devices that it's like a bird repellent then. You get the point? Some airports do it. I'm not sure if all of them do it. You could look it up for all these things, but just look it up and show the people. You have to chapter. Go ahead.
They even have been in gardens, like the repellents in gardens from rodents and such coming into the garden. You have repellents and stuff like that. All that is having domain. So now it's telling the animal where it can go and where it can't go. It's telling the animal when life ends for the animal. You get the point? Read on. Because let me know if you pull up the thing from the airport, please. And over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth.
Over every creeping thing. Okay.
And over all the earth.
And over what?
And over all the earth.
And over all the earth. All the earth is what? The land. So now the question was what?
In the kingdom, will we be able to take the land of the heathen?
Well, the Lord gave man initially dominion over all the earth. Right? He gave man that. And man failed. And dominion over all the earth will be what? Governing, the power of governance or the right of governance to control the earth. Right? To control the earth. That's what man had the power to do. And this power was later given to Adam because man did not live up to his image. And later on in Genesis 2, give me Genesis 2 and start at 1.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 1. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them.
Right, all the heavens and the earth, the creation was finished. Go ahead, keep reading.
And on the seventh day, God ended his work, which he had made.
And on the seventh day, what?
God ended his work.
He did what?
Ended his work.
God did what?
Ended his work.
God ended his work on the seventh day. He stopped all the creation on the seventh day. There was no more creation. Go ahead.
Which he had made. And he rested on the seventh day.
And he rested on the seventh day, or approximately the 7,000 period year, a very long time in the seventh period of it. Go ahead.
From all his work which he had made.
And the Lord rested from all his work which he had made. Right? Give me verse 5.
Verse 5. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth. And every herb of the field before it grew. For the Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. Right,
and even though the Lord created everything, he found out that there was not a man to till the ground. Meaning what? Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, I got technology from there.
Okay, hold it for 1 second. All right, I'll come right back to it. Meaning what? He created man on the 6th day, but man was not exercising dominion. Man was not, and okay, to exercise dominion, you must have this attribute, or this must be a part of you as a person. What is it? To be able to exercise dominion, you must have this attribute. What is it?
So you ask the question.
To exercise dominion, to be able to carry out dominion, you must have this one attribute.
Righteousness?
No, because the white man is the devil and he has all dominion. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So it's not that.
Power.
Well, that's dominion.
There's a couple of answers on online.
Mm-hmm.
Shapara says wisdom. Rapawana says masculinity.
Not wisdom, not masculinity, because the oppressor has all dominion and he is about as smart as a box of rocks, and he's not masculine because he's dressing up in dresses from January 1st. All the police wearing rainbows.
Oh, well, I mean, the dominion came from the Lord, so you got to learn how to follow like this.
The white man has dominion. He has it right now.
I was going to say dominion or manpower.
No.
The willingness to put something down.
What do you mean?
To kill.
That's exercising dominion. But to even exercise dominion, you had to have something.
Sacrifice.
What do you mean?
Like you got to be willing to sometimes do what you don't want to do just to make it happen.
Okay, you kind of getting closer to it. You're not exactly there, but you kind of there. Go ahead, Awarium.
It's not to the will.
Will, what do you mean?
The will to do it.
Okay, you there, but you're not bringing it all the way home. You and him is kind of close, not kind of close, but you're starting to get onto the right track. Shupa, when you're done, just adjust that curtain there for me, please. Go ahead, Bukwash.
Got a couple answers online. Rapawana says work ethic. Yalad says power to back up your authority like how a cop has a gun.
Okay, he's onto it. Work ethic is not it. Anybody else? I'm gonna get you off for time's sake, right? You have to be willing to take responsibility for whatever happens. And without that, you would never ever have dominion, because to take responsibility means you responsible if shit get messed up, right? So a lot of people get offered and get put in positions of running shit or handling shit or being responsible for some shit, and it never gets done. Because why? I ain't really want to be responsible for that shit. That's just too much for me to look over. You're going to have to be willing to be responsible. You're going to have to be willing to be held accountable. That's the better word. You're going to have a willingness to be held accountable. If you're scared of being accountable, you're scared of answering for something and being told you're wrong, you did this wrong, you effed up, this shit shouldn't be like that. If you can't take that, you cannot have dominion. You have to be able to do that to rule. Go ahead. Come on with it.
Isaiah chapter 3, verse 6. When a man shall take hold of his brother of the house of his father, saying, Thou hast cloven, be our ruler, and let this ruin be under thy hand. In that day shall he swear, saying, I will not be a healer, for my house is neither bread nor clothes. Make me not a ruler of the people.
That's it. Listen now, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's absolutely not easy. But That's definitely one of the traits you're gonna have to exercise dominion.
Right.
And the Lord created man in his image, but man wasn't trying to follow after the Lord image and rule shit and put shit in order. And like you say, Shabbat sacrifice, where you may have to do something you don't want to do, or not do what you want to do. But whatever the action is, it has to be done to exercise dominion. You get the point? Some people, it's just too much. That there's just way too much. I'm good. You handle that. I ain't handling shit. That's it. That was the state of man. That's the ever evolving state of man. And when I say man, I'm talking about just people in the world. People in the world don't care about nothing but what they could eat, who they could have sex with, and sleep, and that's it. People in the world are absolutely, the Christian church act is the perfect example of it. There's nobody in there want to be accountable for nothing. So as you could march your rainbow behind in there all month, and nobody ain't gonna say shit. Nobody ain't gonna talk about them kids. Nobody ain't gonna talk about the adultery that's going on. Nobody wants to be responsible for whatever it is. Get the point? Nobody wants that accountability, and because there's not a man to till the ground, the Lord has to find somebody who will do it. Go ahead.
I was just about to say the Christian church, because that's where that spirit comes from. That's why they say, I have a personal relationship. So they separate themselves from any accountability for the nation. They have a personal relationship. That means everybody else can do what they want. As long as I feel I'm right, then it doesn't matter what's going on around me.
Listen, but I was having a conversation today with a brother, and he was telling me about this dude who's in the world who does vlogging and stuff like that, and goes into these little hot spots and captures arguments and gets in the middle of stuff. And he said he ain't doing it no more because there ain't no money in it. But he was real pro-black at the time, right? Real pro-black. And it's like, damn, he don't love black people. And I had to explain to the brother, okay, he probably do love black people, but this is the problem. You can't truly love black people and be an individual. To love black people, you have to be part of a body. You absolutely have to. Because if you love black people when you're an individual, what happens when you go to sleep? Black people get no love because love is sleep. What happens when you have to go take care of slavery? Now, black people problems got to wait because you got to go to a 9 to 5. Right. You're going to have to be part of a body that when you on. And then if you not present, black people could still be loved. Right. You can't love black people as an individual. All that is bullshit. Right. You have to be part. Could Trump help America by himself? He has to be part of a body. He has to be part of that government or some organization where when he sleeps, things still run. Right. You get the point? You can't help black people as an individual. That's ridiculous. You have to be part of a body, and that body is going to function. The Lord gave us a body, which is the governing body under Christ. That's what we're part of here. Right? So now going back to the question. So now the Lord this is where he said there was no man to till the ground. So he raised up Adam here on the 7th day. Adam was already there. The Lord gave him his spirit, his wisdom, his understanding, his everything. And Adam would have had dominion over the earth. Now, dominion means what? Power and control and governance. In the kingdom, are we going to be able to take lands from the heathen? Does America take land from anybody right now? Does America tell you where your land ends and where it doesn't? Does America tell you, listen, you got to pay these taxes and that's it? What did Trump say about the nations who don't pay NATO taxes? NATO has a membership. I call it taxes. They have a membership. And if you don't pay it, they don't protect your country. Right? Trump said something about a month or two ago about NATO. Hold the video still, all right? Anybody know what he said? He said about countries that did not pay their NATO bill. Just look it up. Look it up real quick. Go ahead.
Trump reiterated to NATO allies, if you don't pay up, I'm not going to protect you.
That's it. That's it. Trump said, if you don't settle this bill you have, this outstanding bill, you know, when you call NATO 911, we ain't picking up because you're in the red. You gotta come good with that money if you want these guns and these boots on the ground. If you want us to, you know, if you want us to send people out there to fight the insurgents, you better find that money. That's Dominion Act. So in the kingdom, brother, will we be able to take land from the heathen? Let's put it like this. In the kingdom, the heathen is going to be asking us for land. Right. They're going to be asking us for rice. They're going to be asking us for the ability to do X, Y, Z. We are going to be in the position that the oppressor is in right now. And there's nobody who can do anything on the earth without the approval of the oppressor, right, whether in public or in private. So are we going to take lands? I don't see the point of being in Dominion if you can't take any land. I mean, what are we talking about? Right now, the white man has real estate taxes, right? What happens if you don't pay your property tax?
They take it.
You lose your property. Right. All right then, shalom. All you Kurds and Bangladeshis and, you know, Congo Republic, get them tax and get them diamonds up. Pay them taxes, because if you don't, it's gonna be a problem. Go ahead.
Sorry, if I could, they so wicked with it that you can owe $5,000 on a property and have $1 million house on it, and they want that $5,000. And if you can't pay that $5,000, they're going to sell it to whoever.
They're going to put a lien on it. Yep.
Concert. And whoever pays that $5,000 has a legal right
to your house. No, you got to go fight that person. The oppressor system is horrible. Right. In the kingdom of heaven, it's not going to be like that. But we definitely going to be able to say, listen, you and your people ought to go somewhere else. Definitely going to be able to say that. It's not going to be like the oppressor, but we're going to have all dominion over everything. Right. Over absolutely everything. Go ahead. Go ahead if you don't mind. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 6, verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
Then said I, the Lord, 60, verse 11.
No sweat.
Isaiah 60, verse 11. Therefore, thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles.
Yep.
And that their kings may be brought.
That's it. The kingdom going to be, 7-Eleven, 24/7. Them gates is open so you could bring your tribute and your kings. Go ahead.
For the nation, verse 12, for the nation in the kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish.
And whoever don't want to pay tribute
shall perish.
I mean, it's simple. Life is really simple. It's simple. You know what I mean? Go ahead. Go ahead. Is there some more? Go ahead.
Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted.
Yeah, I mean.
In other words, we're not going to protect them.
Listen. We don't even have to. Wasted doesn't only mean physically wasted. You could just displace them. You could turn them into nomads, and that's that. Yeah, people who you don't have a land to farm, you don't have property. Like that's difficult. You have to follow animals to live. You get the point? That's not a stable society.
Right.
You understand? Go ahead.
Also, like waste. Also, when I think about it, when I think of all the laws America has on places, like for example, Haiti can't sell its rice, so they're wasting.
Yeah, there's so many things you could do to destroy a nation. There's so many things you could do. You get the point? But to answer the brother question, of course, we're gonna have dominion over the children that come out of their loins. Yeah, I mean, if we could take your children and put them into slavery, what is your land? It's what the hell are we talking about? Right. Go ahead.
Precept for the precept. The Old Testament.
Come on with it. Where's the one from? 1 Corinthians 6?
Nah, sir.
Okay, no, sir. Go ahead.
Book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 25. and the gates of it shall not be shut at all by day, nor there shall be no night there. And they shall bring the glory and honor of the nations into it.
Yep, that could go right there with Isaiah. Basically, the same thing. Is going to go night and day, where they're gonna have to bring their tribute. You get the point? Give me the one in 1 Corinthians 6. All right. Give me 1 Corinthians 6 and 2.
Oh, 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 2. Do ye not know that the saints shall judge the world?
Say it again.
Do ye not know that the saints shall judge the world?
Say it one more time.
Do ye not know that the saints shall judge the world?
The saints will judge the world. You understand? Like people, it's hard for us to understand. Questions like that come because being the children of slaves and, indigenous first peoples, it's hard for us to understand power. We really don't have a reference to power. We don't understand it. We don't have that. It's not in us. It's not in us to feel power. We don't fully get it. You see them other nations, they get it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Go ahead.
So in the mind of a slave, power is always going to be, okay, this is my opportunity to make an even playing field. That's in their mind, that's what power is. I'm going to make everybody equal, and everybody's going to be on an even playing field. Everything's going to be fair. Versus a ruler, power is to, number one, maintain the dominion, and number two, to give his family, his people more power.
Yeah, a ruler doesn't care about equity. You get the point? Or equality. A ruler cares about what's right.
Right.
A ruler doesn't, or shouldn't, I should say, should not care about it. A ruler shouldn't confuse empathy with power. Right? We able to empathize with, discrimination and injustice because, we the poster child for it. So, of course, we try to make things equal because we know how it feels. So the normal humane thing is to not make anybody else know how that feels. But you can't have power like that. You can't have power like, you can't imagine you telling your children, okay, it's our bedtime, we all going to sleep. No, we going to sleep later. You could go to sleep later too, and that's be equal, right? If they telling you now, we'll go to sleep in the next hour, we all could go to sleep in the next hour. And you don't want them to feel any type of way, and you say, yeah, let's go sleep at 10. Then 10 turns into 11. 11 turns into 12. To have power, you got to tell them go to bed and cut the TV off. Right. You're going to have to rule. And then they'll know who's in charge. And that's, power is having dominion. And we're going to have lots of it. We're going to have so much, we're going to be sick of it. You know what I mean? I'm trying to tell you. We're gonna be absolutely sick of it. We're going to have so much power, brother. We're going to be sick of it. You see, that's the thing. I come and say, we such slaves as a people. We can't imagine being sick of power. Haven't you seen Hunter Biden? Haven't you seen the Hilton daughters? Haven't you the royal family? They're sick of power because they done had so much. And they only had power for what? A few hundred years? We're talking about forever. You could imagine was forever supply of gold. Nigga, I'm going to be going to the moon in something flyer. Like, that's what I'm saying. You thinking you'll never get sick of it, but you'll be like, well, damn, we ruling. What else is there to do? It's going to be so much of it. There's going to be so much power. So much of it. It's just coming in. It's coming, and you wouldn't be able to fathom it out. Damn, you had to be born again in kingdom back. You had to come back as a child, get used to the damn power. You get the point? But now you can't even begin to think. You cannot even begin to think of, damn. You can't even imagine having, for women having chambermaids. Like a broad coming in with, a wash pot. You brush your teeth, spit, and she walk out with the pot. Now you tell black people that today, they'll be like, nah, that's what? Too much. That's doing too much. I could brush my teeth for myself. What? Nigga, get in the back there. Go ahead. Again. Do it like you like it, nigga.
To America?
That's probably, they try to show that in there. But okay, you see how, them medieval royal family. So Slacky, what you needed?
Oh, Slacky, I'm glad for the devil.
Oh, Slacky. You see them how they roll. Just think like that times a million. The only thing is, the difference is we are not oppressors. We are actually people who understand things. So we are not going to carry it like that. But you're going to have power that is just, is just ridiculous power. A ridiculous amount of power, huge amount of power.
So like, well, people talking about, well, there's no pure bloodlines because everybody was raped in slavery.
Yeah, that man, he gonna lose his tongue. He gonna lose his tongue in the kingdom. Yeah, he got to write, and if he write that shit, he gonna lose his fingers. You understand?
No.
That's the type of power we talking about. Ultimate power. Ultimate power. There's no pure blood. What do you mean by that? How you proving that? And he gonna get to make his case, and then he gonna be told he's wrong, and he gonna say Go ahead.
No, Slacky, I don't even know if I'm wording it correctly. I was thinking about it for a good 5-10 minutes before I raised my hand. But when you were saying like you have so much power that it's going like that they would make us sick. And I started to think about like the Lord having establishing the rank structure and being the officer of this and the captain of this and the general of that, and what you're over, and that brother and his family and this and this and that, and thousands of people. And then I look at just the ranks that we have and the way it is that, brothers be up all night long taking phone calls at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, the amount of counseling that's given at all times of the day and all that above.
Mm-hmm.
Like just putting that into perspective and saying about it, like I could see, how having dominion over the entire earth now, how all of that accountability, responsibility, I can see why you can't do that on your own. Like the point.
No, it's impossible. It's impossible to do it on your own. It's impossible to. Not only that, it's just humanly, it's so many things pull you in different directions. You're gonna need the organization because the organization doesn't feel things. It doesn't have a mood. That's why we say that's not UPK. Because that shit don't change. You could wake up today and feel a way about something. Somebody will say, that ain't UPK. That's the organization. You get the point? A warrior. Shalom.
That's a lot of warrior.
I want all the dominion. I ain't sharing. I want all the power, But that's it. It's just impossible to do. All right. Any more questions? That's it. So you understand, a warrior?
No, cousin.
So we're definitely gonna be able to take everything up. Any more questions, Marco?
Because the brother was like you were saying earlier in the class, he doesn't understand power. So he was, from a Christian standpoint, he was fighting over, okay, if I'm going to rule, everybody's going to be happy. And I'm going to have to find a way to make everybody happy.
Because he doesn't want to be accountable for people who complain.
Right.
Listen, I'm having a mug for them tears and all. Ain't no sweat. Yeah, there's no way you could rule and make everybody happy. Go ahead.
Oh, so I just have a question.
No, sir.
Regarding the whole Pride Month and the whole LGBT that community, it was a while ago, a long time ago, you had brought out a breakdown, but I cannot remember it. I want to say it was in the Apocrypha, but it was, so I don't even know if I'm allowed to affect that those terms is accessible, but the whole 2 women,
I'm listening.
scissoring, there was a scripture you broke it down, and it would say that's that, and it was literally saying that in the scriptures in the Apocrypha.
Two women.
Yeah. Carpet. Yeah. We brought. I remember that. Yeah. It was probably two. It was a while ago, some years ago.
It's gonna be rough out. I'm trying to tell you.
If it did strike a light bulb, if I can find it, or if you remembered it, or something of that sort, just the a breakdown of what it of that scripture, what was going on right there. But since that class, I cannot.
You gotta find the scripture. I don't remember that. You sure in the Apocrypha?
It was in the Apocrypha, sure. And it was when you have broken down, of course, you give a breakdown to bring what it's saying. It was these women that was, doing those actions. Constantly. It was either the carpet thing or it was the sizzling thing. But I want to say it was the sizzling thing. But constantly, I'm like, yeah.
If you could find it, I know there's the one in Romans.
Something like that.
There's one in Romans, the Romans one where they didn't take the natural use of the woman. Not that you're talking about.
This was I want to say it's an actual instance that had took place, like or what that society was doing at the time. That time of society, what it was doing. I wanted to use it to make a video, but I can't remember what.
Don't remember. I don't. Not the one where said they bruised their teeth together. Is it that?
Is that in the Apocrypha?
No, I think that's in Jeremiah or some. Ezekiel.
It's like if I made somebody 23 verse 3. That might be. You said Ezekiel
23:3.
And
you could start at 1. You could start at 1.
Give me research.
Go ahead.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 23, verse 1. The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Son of man, there were two women, the daughters of one mother, and they committed whoredoms in Egypt. They committed whoredoms in their youth. They were there. There were their breasts pressed, and there they bruised the teeth of their virginity.
Is it that?
That sound more on it. That might sound exactly what I was talking about. So like if I made teats.
Teats is breast, like tits.
Concept.
So the breast is rubbing together, like they lesbians.
Concept.
And you could use this for LGBTQ, of course.
I want to say it was something in the Apocrypha, but this does sound like it might be. I might be off myself, but it was. I could definitely still use this as well.
I don't remember.
And these if I may, while we're on the scripture in Ezekiel, and it says that they committed whoredoms in Egypt, these women that's being spoken of are Israelite women.
Okay, this is almost like a parable. I don't think this is two actual broads. It's talking about us, that we don't start doing shit against the Lord. But you precept on precept, you could use it for LGBTQ. Right, as far as I remember. All right. Because if you read verse 8, read verse 7.
Ezekiel 23:7. Thus she committed her whoredoms with them, with all them that were the chosen men of Assyria, and with all on whom she doted, with all the idols she defiled herself.
You understand? Go ahead.
She's talking about Israel.
Go ahead.
Verse 8.
I believe the two is, the kingdoms. Go ahead.
Verse 8. Neither left she her whoredoms brought from Egypt. For in her youth they lay with her, and they bruised the breast of her virginity, and poured their whoredom upon her.
Meaning when we came out of Egypt, we didn't want to leave Egypt behind. You understand? We built the calves and wanted to go back. You get the point? But that precept on precept, you could use that with any other LGBTQ, precept, and you could put it together. As far as the Apocrypha, I really don't remember. If anybody remembers it, just let me know. But I definitely don't. Y'all, you sure it was me? It probably wasn't me.
We went to that precept first, and we went into the Apocrypha.
Yeah, but say very similar, but I'm pretty sure it was the sizzling thing. As I say,
yeah, I ain't got it though.
My mind was, like, when you find those things in the Bible, Didn't know it was there.
Okay, is it the one where it says she wandering, opening her mouth? I don't think it's that one. I don't think that had to do with it.
Y'all remember?
I don't remember. If you all remember, definitely get with me on it, please. But I definitely don't. Damn. I'm feeling bad now. Shit. The Apocrypha. Yeah, it's nothing coming to mind with it. Nothing coming to mind with it at all. All right. Anything on Bakwash? All right, no sweat. So, of course, we had the Jew, Jewish, Israeli, all right, and Israelite. All right. Israelite, what does the word Israelite mean? Go ahead.
Son of Israel.
A son of Israel or child of Israel, the It is, refers to that. The It refers to the son of or offspring of whatever came before, like the, Hamite or Shemite. That's where it comes from. Now, Israeli, what is that talking about? Go ahead.
Somebody that's on the land of Israel.
I believe you might be right, Ark. I believe you've been studying, Ark. Damn. I thought I was coming to drop some knowledge, Ark. No, you're right. Israeli is referring to somebody of the land, but not someone of the bloodline. So when you talk about the Israelis, it's talking about the people who live in there, like Pakistanis or what's some other with the E at the end? Pakistani, Afghanis. You get the point, right? That's the people of the land. Israelite is actually from that bloodline, right? Just like Jew and Jewish. Ish is the suffix means to be like. Not really Jew, but you're Jewish. You kind of like a Jew, kind of like it, but you're not actually the Jew. All right, so give me Jeremiah 14:2. Let's start there.
Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground.
Right, Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground. Hold on, son, before we move on, Bakwash, play the video out. Salaki, I had you holding the damn video.
Our water says, can we say foreigners on our land? Salaki.
Can we say what?
Foreigners on our land.
For what, Israeli? Okay, I wouldn't say that because that's kind of making it more personal. I just want the definition. The definition of it for the sake of teaching. You ain't wrong, but I wouldn't phrase it like that for the sake of teaching. Israeli is just anybody on the land. The Ethiopian who's born there is considered an Israeli. You get the point? Israelite is somebody who went into slavery. That's the difference. All right, let me know when the video plays.
Hit birds turning back towards LaGuardia.
The miracle on the Hudson in 2009 is the most famous example when the U.S. Airways flight hit a flock of geese shortly after takeoff and lost power to both engines. Now, Sacramento's airport is installing new technology to minimize the risk of birds damaging planes. The avian radar system is designed to track flocks and even individual birds flying up to 5 miles away from the airfield. The warning is then relayed to the airport's wildlife managers.
The technology will allow our biologists to have real-time data for when there may be birds in the area, and then they can use any number of tools that they have at their disposal to discourage the birds from coming closer to the airport.
It's a new tool to help wildlife managers mitigate potential dangers in the sky before planes are impacted.
What they couldn't see typically with their own eyes, with binoculars, things like that, this may alert them sooner.
Right, so once they detect them birds, they have a few different things they deploy to scatter the birds, to stop the birds from hampering the planes. All right, but that comes from having dominion. Now, if you are old, you know, tree hugger, the birds' lives matter too, and you're gonna sit on the tarmac and protest, and nobody ain't gonna be able to fly. Versus just letting the birds go somewhere else. You get the point? They just had to go somewhere else. All right, we good? All right, where we at? What's his ask you for? Jeremiah 14:2. Let's go.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 14, verse 2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black onto the ground.
Right? Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. Judah is the fourth born son of Israel, as you know. Jew is short for Judah. The Bible says Judah, the Jews, would be in mourning. They would be sad, and they're not in mourning right now. They're absolutely not. They in dominion. They haven't telling them Palestinians where their land is and where their land is not. And if they could live and if they could eat, they have in full dominion. Right? Their gates, they say, the Bible say their gates would languish. Today, their gates is not languishing. Their gates is thriving. Their gates is strong and being made stronger. The Bible also says they are black onto the ground. Kadala Arataza in the Hebrew, like the shades of the earth. That's what the Jews would be. The people in the Israelis today are not like the shades of the earth. The people in the Israeli people today favor the oppressor, right? Favor the oppressor, lacking melanin, blonde hair, blue eyes, or black hair, blue eyes, or whatever it is. They're not us. You get the point? We are the real Jews. The Bible says they are black. Go ahead.
Constant, not too long ago, the Iranians shot over 600 missiles into the land. And they have something called the Iron Dome, which is their gates.
Right.
That knocked out over 90-something% of the 600 missiles sent. So their gates are definitely not like
their gates ain't failing out. Their gates are strong. The gates are strong as hell. Now, somebody look up for me. Why do Jewish people wear black? See if you could look up what you're about to tell me and read it. That might be better. Go ahead. All right. If anybody online have questions, type them in. Make sure you type them in. We're going to get all your questions tonight. It's good to know this difference because a lot of our people, again, because of empathy, a lot of our people empathize with the Palestinians. And I understand why. I definitely understand why our people would empathize. And they would see us with the shield and think we are supporters of the Israelis. And that nothing can be further from the truth. Nothing can be further from the truth. They are imposters. They are not God's chosen people. We are God's chosen people. And we have no stake in that war right now. We don't have a dog in the race. We are not back in the state of Israel or the Israelis. And we definitely don't have no support for Hamas or the Palestinians. Do we understand and be able to accept that what's going on over there is one-sided and is nigh unto genocide? Hell yeah, I could see that. Hell, Ray Charles could see that. But that doesn't mean I'm supporting the Israeli man at all. This is our culture. The shield is ours. We are the real Jews. Everything about it is us. All right. What you got, Shapad?
I found some from the Jewish Police Association.
That might be the police. No, I'm talking about the all black. Go ahead.
So it says the tradition of men wearing black clothes is limited to a small group of ultra Orthodox Jews. It was originally done as a sign of modesty to not be flamboyant or showing off one's wealth, but has now developed into the status of a group of uniform. Okay,
that's not it. That's definitely not it. They wear it because you could be modest in anything, in any color. Good. Why didn't just choose all blue? you know, all white or anything like that. Go ahead.
Historical influence. The practice of wearing black has roots in the historical clothing norms of Eastern Europe Jewish communities, Ashkenazi Jews.
Mm-hmm.
In the 18th and 19th centuries, Jews in Eastern Europe adopted the dark clothing styles of the local non-Jewish populations, which often included black garments. Religious identity. Wearing black can also serve as a marker of religious identity and solidarity within the community. It helps to distinguish members of the Orthodox Jewish community and signifies their commitment to religious traditions and lifestyle.
That's onto it. That right there is them wearing black because it says they are black. They think it means, go ahead.
Continuity and tradition. For many Orthodox Jews, wearing black is a way of maintaining continuity with past generations. It represents a link to the customs and traditions of their ancestors and a desire to preserve their heritage.
And what they say in the Jews is black, meaning we're black, meaning sad and depressed, and they wear that like funeral clothes. Like black is supposed to be signify loss. And they're so sad and depressed and their gates languish, and that's why they wear the all black. It has nothing to do with, you know, being humble and humility and all of that. That ain't got nothing to do with it. Right. That has nothing to do with any damn thing. This is them, you know, trying to do that. Right? Go ahead.
I don't have no proof of it, but I always found that big hat they wear as a fake afro.
Listen, okay, I think Dungobar probably could get the whole thing with that, because the what they call the beef eaters, which is the royal guards, they wear that big old hat, and I think that has roots in Russia, right? And I believe, okay, Dungobar might have to go into that with you. I think it is damn like a fake afro. You understand? But don't quote me on it. You know what I mean? Let's let the brother bring on the history. Somebody else look up for me. The curls. I forget what they call it. Poets. The little curls that come down on the side. Make sure you're showing these images too, Bakwash. Them in the all black and the curls. Come on, Bakwash. Come on, I can't do this and that. Come on, you gotta help me out.
It's like I got something.
You got the all black?
No, the curl.
The curl. Well, okay, you should have showed the all black before. This is just in case for somebody who doesn't know. All right. What do you have?
The curls.
All right.
The custom of curling or letting the side locks of hair grow long, known as payat or piyat, is practiced by many Orthodox Jewish men, particularly those in Hasidic, and some other Haredi communities. This practice is rooted in a biblical commandment and has various religious and cultural traditional significance.
Mm-hmm.
Biblical commandment, the primary reason for growing payat.
Payat is them the curls that come down here, right? Usually accompanied with some Coke bottle glasses.
They call it locks.
I mean, it is a lock. A lock is a clump of hair. That's all a lock is. It's just hair. And it's accompanied with the glasses and the yarmulke or the top hat, right? Keep reading.
The primary reason for growing payat comes from a commandment in the Torah. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 27 states,
mm-hmm.
You shall not round off the corners of your heads,
mm-hmm.
nor shall you destroy the corners of your beard.
Now, and King James is, you shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard. So they take that and keep going. And does it?
This
ahead.
Has been interpreted by Jewish sages to mean that Jewish men should not cut their hair.
No, this is interpreted by their wise men. That what?
That Jewish men should not cut the hair at the sides of their heads.
No, they could cut everything else. But this right here, you gotta let that shit drop.
Right.
No, I mean, they said we the salt of the earth and we the greatest people. That shit ain't catch on yet. I ain't see a ham like do that yet. At least if you're the greatest people, what you do is supposed to be trendy. It's supposed to catch on. That ain't catching on. I ain't too sure. Anymore?
concept, but it's roughly saying the same.
Same thing.
Yeah.
So now they take Leviticus. Somebody read Leviticus 19 and 27 again. Right? They take that verse and say you're not supposed to shave the sides of your head. All right. But I guess you could get a lineup anywhere else though. But the sides here is off limits. Right? What's up? Don't pull up nothing too extra, you know.
No, it's not extra, sir. I'm just it's a bunch of images of these.
Yeah, let's just find a good one. I'll find a good one. All right, what's you have? We read that. Go ahead.
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 27. Ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard.
What does that mean? Break it down for me, Alkin, if you all remember.
Basically, in today's terms, of shape ups.
It's a shape up, but how would you break down what they're saying it is? They're saying this means the corners of your head is here, like this is a corner somehow. Right? You shall not round the corners of your head, neither thou shalt you mark the corners of your beard. So where your beard connects with your head right here, you can't touch that and you gotta let that fall. Idiot. Damn.
I could be all Saladia. But them like our oppressor does, being literal in some things or not understanding the spirit of the Bible. Like at this point in Leviticus, like we receiving like this isn't our culture. Like to do these things. Like this is what the Egyptians is doing. This is what the heathen is doing.
What is what the heathen is doing?
The shape ups, the pretty much exactly what the scripture is saying. They're the ones that's shaping up that's shaving their face off and being removing the hair off their face and creating this image of themselves. Like this is what the heathen is doing. This is worshiping and in some shape and form worshiping their gods.
Right.
Has history and background on that. But to not go along the long road of it, I would break it down to say like this isn't our culture. So the Jewish man, they do it literal, and then pulling up an image of it, they're saying, okay, well, like how you just broke it down, like okay, it's literal, don't do this, so I'm gonna do this much, and I can shave off the rest. I can do this, but there's no spirit that's in there. When they go to break it down, it's just more so this is what we were taught to do versus the reason why.
Why? Okay, I'll take that. It's definitely got to do with Egypt. All right. First, so give me the definition of corner.
Corner.
Just look up corner. You could keep the image up, to make it where it's big and small. All right.
From the Merriam.
Go ahead.
From the Merriam-Webster, corner, a noun. You got 1A, the point where converging lines, edges, or sides meet an angle.
That's basically it. Where converging lines, if you have lines that come together, that's a corner. Sides or edges or like a surface, right? I think one of the Merriam dictionaries said the point at which two surfaces meet. So two edges or two what's this? Edges.
So like converging lines, edges, or sides.
Edges or side. So this tablecloth, this line here is a corner. Not the point. The point is a corner. We call it a corner because it's lower lines meet. But this top piece of the tablecloth is, that type of leather type look with the studs. The side is cloth. These is two different edges that meet. This line is the corner. When it comes to your head, there's a surface or edge on your head that is the edge of hair. Then there's another surface or edge that's the edge of skin. You understand? Where those two meet, that's the corner. On your face, here, this is a whole surface. This is hairy. This part is not. Where these two meet, that's a corner. When you go up on your forehead, there's a part of your forehead that's hairy. That's a surface. There's another part that's no hair. Where those two surfaces meet, that line is a corner. And that forms a natural line. There's a natural line that every brother and sister has, right? Every brother more so. This is more so talking more for the men. Because of course of the beard. You get the point? Every brother has that. There's a natural line. He's saying, do not round that line or mar that corner. Not this little dumb shit here, devil. That little curly thing here that looks so stupid, that's not biblical. That's not the Spirit of the Lord. That's something else. Which is why everything they do is absolutely so ridiculous and weird. Again, the difference between Israelite and Jew versus Israeli and Jewish. Israelites rock beards and braids with locks. You get the lock coming out. They cut their hair off, shave their face, and wear these little ridiculous stuff. That's not biblical at all. You get the point? If that's biblical, you could go in the Bible and see where Samson got his hair braided, weaved with that special comb. Why he wasn't curling that little thing here? Why he wasn't curling up that little dumb shit? Go ahead.
For those who just need to see something, if you look at all the architecture from back in that time, nobody had them little
things and braids. No, because see if you could pull up that too. You could pull up the ancient trying to think of a good one. You could pull up the Ark of Titus, I believe. You would see that. No, Ark of Titus is when they carried away the Ark of the Covenant. There's a few of them, I think we had them up in the school here too. You could, if you see one, you could probably take it down and show it on the camera, right? Where there's old architecture with them in the walls. If it's not there, you probably know how to find it online. So if you can't find it. All right. Bukwatch, you found any?
I'm trying to get the right concept.
No sweat. If somebody could look it up for him and let him, go ahead, Bukwatch. Because there's not a good picture of the little curly thing out. You got to get the actual white man in the black with the curly hair. Yeah, that's what I need. I need that.
Something like this.
We got that Life magazine in here.
You could check one of these boxes here.
It's in the suitcase.
We had a couple of them though.
Concert.
They're all in there?
No, at least one of them is in there.
Oh, check it out and see. I thought that was the one with Egypt. You can't really see the curls here though, because could you?
Okay, let me keep going. I got
Take your time. You got it? All right. In the meantime, let's move on.
That's why, sir.
Let me see. Hold on. Yeah. Come on, man. Let's break it down. Let's break it down. Right here. That is not at all biblical. That's Jewish. That's not Jew. You have one? You sure it's in this one? Yeah. I think that's why we even got it. You remember the page? Take your time with that page, right? Let me know when you find it, all right? Yeah, like that. That's definitely it. Now also give me why do they wear the yarmulke? Get a picture of one of them in a yarmulke, please. Then give me
too, if I may. And just to revert back to the scripture that we was at in Leviticus, where it says not to mar the corners that I did. I was never in like Esau's military and nothing like that, but I could see, you know what I'm saying, like going against that. A lot of brothers that was in the military had to shave off their face and they had developing conditions and, you know, they skin messing up. And
you didn't have to be in the military for that. You just had to just disobey the Lord. I don't think there's a Negro who didn't get bumps out. I think
I'm one. So like I said, I the little bit I had, I made an oath, and I never cut this thing, so I never got the bump on my.
Oh, okay. You give him a hand. He means to say he came in the truth so young.
Yeah.
That's what he means to say. He came in the truth so young. When he came in, his face was clean. But as the beard started to grow, he ain't said, listen, thank the Lord you never had that shit out. That bumps is hell. That bumps is hell. The white man tried to sell you something to burn your skin off, to burn the bump off. And I think that was a practical joke on every Negro everywhere. No sweat. Hold on. The book is coming apart. Just now?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it didn't rip.
Shabbat said. It's coming apart, yes. Just now, yes. But I didn't rip it. So who did? The Jewish man did. Yeah.
Right. It's like, so it is an old book.
No, it didn't come like this. It didn't come like this. Okay, I think the purpose of this book was to show that on the walls in the caves that the Hebrews was black, right? Which we could see, but I don't think it's as close as where you could see the braids. All right, this one is probably the woman. If you could see, this is the woman. They had the braids, but I'm trying to get one with the men so you could see the braids.
If you could look on the screen now.
You have something? All right, let me see.
Yes, sir.
Yep. That's the one. Yep, that's the one right there. So what to Shabbat? See if we could get this back in crisp order. So what? Now I think we have a few copies too. So that one gonna be don't open the other copies, all right?
So like I said, there's a question on topic, sir.
Go ahead.
Okay, so Janasia Edwards says, Salaki, everyone. I have someone wondering why we can't wear dreadlocks. I'm unable to explain it correctly. I just know it's unlawful.
Okay, it's not unlawful. There's no law that says if you wear dreadlocks, you're going to get put to death or you're going to receive 30 stripes. All right. You could wear dreadlocks if you want to, just like you could, something else that's not unlawful. It's just, you know, you could say you could be a man and just wear pink if you want to. You make a pink garment. It's fine. You know what I mean? And purple is glorious, when we wear it. Right? That thing they wear is nasty. Right? There's no law. So, okay, with dreadlocks, what you have to be able to understand to break it down is you're going to have to be able to understand the specifics of it and the spirit of it. With the dreadlocks, specifically, there's no law. You can't go in the Bible and pull a law about it. But you can say Proverbs 3 and 31. Read that for me, please. Right, give me Proverbs 3 and 31.
At the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 31.
Go ahead.
Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. And one of our oppressors are the East Indians, all right? The oppressor is the white man. We have the Hamites, who are oppressors, which are the African nation. We have the Moabites, who's the Chinese, the Ammonites, who's the Japanese. But we also have Elam, who is the East Indians in the Bible, Elam. And dreadlocks are an East Indian culture, right? It comes from their priest called, of course, there are priests like pundits, some of their gods. You could pull up Krishna, pull up a picture of Krishna. He got dreadlocks. They believe that their dreads are their antennae to the Lord. to their god, right? Also, they have a sect of priests called the Aguri. The Aguri priests. See if we could pull up pictures of them where they don't eat. They grow their hair. They eat. They stack up on dead skeletons, and they're just a nasty bunch of people. Them Aguri priests. But that's where the dreadlocks come from. The dreadlocks come from East India. It made its way into the Caribbean with indentured laborers. The indentured laborers came. Indentured laborers mean they're not slaves. They sign a contract to come to work and be above the slaves. So when they came to the Caribbean islands, they brought their culture with them. And part of that culture was the dreadlocks and marijuana and hemp. The smoking was part of their culture because getting high with heathen cultures is part of the religion. Benjamites adopted it and made it popular, and that's where everybody wears dreads from today. Nobody wears dreads from any other source. All right? It's not a Hamite culture. Hamites have started doing it, but it's not a Hamite culture. The dreads are an East Indian culture. That's them, right? The Hamites, because the Hamites at the time, the glorious Hamites were who? The Egyptians. The Egyptians hated hair. They always thought hair was dirty, right? They always thought hair was dirty and you had to shave, hence the term clean shaven, right? They think you're clean when you're all shaven, and that if you have hair, you're dirty, right? So the dreadlocks does not come from the Hamites. It comes from the East Indians. They are oppressors. Envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. That's a heathen culture that we don't want to adopt. Also, it has religious implications with their gods. We don't want to adopt that either. Now, you could gamble and rock your dreads and do whatever the hell you want to. You just ain't going to be in the Israelite school or UPK. Because in here, Commander John YAHANNA under Christ has what? Dominion. Right. Even over your head. Right. So you want to be in here, you're going to have to cut them dreads. That's right. You cut it off. You cut it off. And if I could just volunteer personal preference, cut it off yourself. Don't sit there and put your hand on your head in your hand while somebody cuts your hair. Cut that shit off yourself. You grew it yourself. Right. You twisted it yourself and bought your beeswax and all that bullshit. Cut that shit off yourself, nigga. Right. Cut it off. Right? If you want to be in part of this body. No, you don't have to be part of this body. There ain't nobody forcing you. You don't have to be. There's plenty of people who would take you. The purple sodomites would take you. They'd take you. You could keep your dreads and go there. But just for the, it was a woman who asked the question, Bukash? Just for the sister's question, it's not unlawful. It's not our culture, right? It's not our culture. And similarly, because at that time, that wasn't part of our culture. That wasn't, part of us. Similarly, like you would never find a law against, Salaki, go ahead. You would never find a law in the Bible against eating feces. You would never find a law saying thou shalt not eat feces. Now, does that mean it's lawful to do it and it's good for you? All right, then. Similarly with dreadlocks. Right. We get the point. There's some things that just don't need to be said. Right. Some things, what is understood don't need to be said. Plus, dreadlocks is nasty as hell. So a ton of dirt up in there. And, insects and all type of shit. It's nasty, it's dirty, and it's dead hair. It's not even your hair. Right. It's dead hair that you cheating and saying, now look how long my hair is. Comb that shit out, nigga. You see your hair come down to this. Right? Go ahead, Bukash.
It's like Recent Officer of War says, can First Corinthians 6 and 12, can this be a good precept?
For the dreadlocks? Go ahead, let me hear it.
It's 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 12. All things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power of any. Okay,
no. I wouldn't use that for this because that's implying that it is lawful, which would mean the UPK enforcing no dreadlocks would mean that we unlawful, right? You can't imply that it's lawful. You understand? Just like there's no law against eating feces and drinking piss. Now, does that mean you lawful and right if you drink piss and eat feces? Because there's no law against it? That ain't our culture. And we didn't need a law against it because the people who we were oppressed by, that wasn't part of their culture. The laws, majority of our laws is to make us not follow the captivities we were in. You get the point? Go ahead, Barack.
So it's funny that we was actually touching on that topic just now, because I was at the slave and there was a sister that was asking, about it, and I guess it's really the spirit of it. Like I just directly just cut straight to the point where it's like you would have to recognize who team you on, because going down the route of saying that it's dirty and that it's nasty and like black people somehow being put out there to seem like we make sin look good and or whatever the case may be. In essence, she's responding with when you can make dreads clean and go through this process and they can be clean and neat and all that above, which is then why I just went ahead and said you'd have to understand whose team you want, because though it could be you could wash it and put baking soda and all this other stuff inside of it and apple cider vinegar, clean it and get some system to make it look nice. It's like you'd have to understand the spiritual part of it, that this ain't us, and that is how I would think.
I would say that part is us. That cleaning and making it nice, that's us.
Right.
But dreadlocks originally is a nasty thing.
Right.
It's dirty. It's a rebellious type of culture where you ain't washing, you ain't combing, you ain't grooming. You just how nature, however it grows, how it grows, which that's somebody who does not want to be accountable and held responsible for it. So you just let it go. And you blame it on nature. Why is this like that? Well, that's just how it grew. What about how you want it to grow? What about how you want this to be? Well, I, shy away from him. I don't really want to step on nobody's toes. I don't really want to, do this. I don't really want to do that. And you get the point? It's a whole hippie culture. It's just dirty and nasty. Right. People like dreads now because Israelites done adopted dreads because it has the image of glory when it's not really. It's just a lot of dead something you're accumulating. And it makes us feel, because we don't have our own nation, our own culture, it makes us feel, worthy of something and worth something. So we adopted it and we made it Israelite. We made it clean. We made it something. You have people who they call them locticians. You will not find locticians in any other nation, not even Ethiopians, not even East Indians. Why is locticians niggers? Because we don't take the thing and clean it for us. But nobody want them, old school burning spear dreads. Pull up a picture of burning spear with dreads dripping from his chin. Pull up burning spear. Okay, burning spear got the good nasty one I'm talking about. The good, old school, nasty jank dreads. He got that thing. You have one? All right, just find the one out. No, his music is fire. I ain't knocking on the music, but the dreadlocks are. Go ahead, Shabbat.
Like two things about me. I want someone to do who had a dreadlock so big in the middle of his head, like a shark's fin. It was one big giant dread. He had a bunch of other ones just falling off, around it.
Yep.
About me,
it may not be him, Hold on. Okay. It may not be him. Let me see if I could find one and send it to you. Go ahead, Shabbat.
When the Lord said you worship no other Lord, no other God but me, then is there like the East Indian god Shiva is like with the dreads? Would that be in worship of her instead of the Lord?
Say again.
You know how the Lord said you will have no other God but me.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the East Indians, that East Indian god Shiva that they have, that mainly got the dreadlocks.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be more of like a worship of her, just wearing them like that?
Because Shiva is a man, first off, right? Shiva is a man. It's worshiping their gods. Now, their gods are a mixture of, Shiva is like a demigod. Shiva, Krishna, they're like demigods, where it's like a man who's a god. But their gods are the monkey and the elephant, and it's like how the Greeks and the Christians have saints and different gods. That's how they have gods. I think the god of strength for them is Hanuman, which is the monkey man. There's that Key and Peele. They just made a horror movie called I think it's the Monkey Man. There's some Indian movie where this man putting on the monkey mask and doing shit. It's the East Indians. They worship this man called Hanuman, who is a half monkey, half man, and he's supposed to be so goddamn strong, like everybody, stronger than anybody else. Right? And they worship different, things. And of course, on top of that, you have Kali, which is the I think she's the goddess of revenge, and her people are the thuggies. That's where you get thug from. And then you have what's the other one? The 8 hands. Say again.
Divas too. Thugs and divas are followers.
I think diva is from the Greeks. I think diva is Greek. I think diva is a Greek god. You could just double check for me. I might be wrong. There's another one with 8 hands. Lakshmi.
Durga.
Say again. Durga. I don't know who the hell is that. What does that look like?
8 hands.
Well, they have a few of them with 8 hands. Yeah, look up Kali. Kali had 8 hands, and she got niggas' heads in the hands and the knife. Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, the one with 8 hands is Mother Lakshmi.
Lakshmi, that's the one. Mother Lakshmi, she got the hands, and she be just. You remember Street Fighter Dawson?
Yeah, I was like
Alibaba here. That's them, Mark. That's them. You get the point? So that's where the dreadlocks come from. All that is not our culture, right? That's not our culture. In here, we are this is a cult. We are very cultish about our cult, and we raise up cult leaders and cult princesses, and you cannot be in here with no nasty, stinking dreadlocks. If I had to cut mine, and you in here with dreads, we having a council. Why the hell I had to get rid of mine? And this nigga in here with dreads, something wrong. The system broke. We gotta fix this, right? You gotta cut them dreads out. Whoever it is, man or woman, cut them nasty old nasty things and come up in here all the way and be right. All the way into your culture. This is your culture, not anybody else's culture, man. This is your culture. The East Indians, they ain't wearing no braids in the temple. They ain't putting no cornrows in the temple. They'll wait when they have to perform on stage like Sean Paul to make your money. But when it's time to go amongst the people and shit, they're not bringing us into them. They'll look like us and talk like us when it's time to make some money. But when it's time to go and have the East Indian weddings and the East Indian holidays and stuff, our culture ain't got no place in them. So why you bringing their culture amongst us, man? Your self-esteem is so goddamn low? Nah, man. Cut them dreads off. Go ahead.
Say the precept when it comes down to us doing what they doing and not doing what we supposed to do. Our culture is why we trim our ways.
Not so much, because they're not doing it to seek love of them. They're doing it to make themselves feel better. It's like fig leaves. The fig leaves is better. The fig leaves one is better. Where like this now makes me feel clean. This makes me feel prestige and royal. That's why in the Rastafarian community, what do they say? Emperor and Empress. Like our brothers would say, hey, princess, good morning, queen. The Rastafarian community, hey, what's going on, Empress? And she, good morning, king, and all this. Cut this shit off. Cut it off. And let's be brothers and sisters. That's way better than emperors and empresses. Go ahead.
It's funny you say that, because I was looking into that the other day, because even in the black community, you'll see black people who could be raised in the same household with different cultures, because of the God they follow. So, for example, if you have 2 brothers, one of them is a Muslim and the other one is Hindu, both brothers will take on the customs and the culture and the dressing of that God, right? So you see one dressed like the Arabs and the other one dressed like the Hindu. You see one who's used words kind of like we use words like Adawan, Khan, and stuff like that. They'll start using words like Bismillah and what does that mean? But they fully take on the culture, and which is why it's important for us to build our culture here, because anything else. I just sent you a picture of Bukwash.
Say again.
So because this is why it's important that we take on our culture in the school here,
right?
Because we're going back to our culture, of our ancestors, of our people. Because anything else is you're gonna have to take on the culture of a heathen. Next thing you know, you're praying in Arabic now.
Yeah, exactly. Everything you're giving yourself over to. There's a video a brother sent me on Karate sent me from the UK with this Muslim dude. You know, he tried to be a street dude and he got shot up and stuff. So he changed his life now and he's going back into the mosque. And he married a sister. And he married his sister with kids. And he went on the podcast and talked about how they rejected him. And they say, man, you married a black woman, not only a black woman, but a black woman with kids. And they try to, you know, like, and he said amongst my people, you know, we can't accept that and blah, 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 blah. And then he said, but they're not racist, though. That's just their preference. That's racism, nigga. Right. What the hell is we talking about? Why you got to get kicked out of the religion? Because you go marry somebody from another race or another culture. And that's kind of how we have to be with our culture. We're going to have to be real protective, real, you know, as you're saying, keeping our identity. And it's heavy what you say, because the Israelite school of UPK teaches us about the Bible and our culture. And this is the only thing, this is the only doctrine or whatever you want to describe it as, the teaching or whatever, that lets you still remain a nigga.
Right.
Everything else, you got to become African American. You got to become, you know, now we all Muslims. You got to become something else. But this is the only thing that's for you, that fits you.
It's so heavy to say that, sir. A Muslim sister asked me a few years ago. She said she struggles, right? So she asked me, what are you first? Are you an Israelite or are you a black first? Because I struggle because I have to decide if I'm black first or I'm Muslim first.
What?
So I told her, you know what? I don't have that problem because the Israelite is black.
That's it. That I don't have to. I'm not caught in a conundrum. Right. I'm not at the crossroads. Am I going to be black or am I going to be an Israelite? Nigga, we one and the same.
Right.
But now, if you into Islam, you had to figure out if you black or if you Muslim first.
Right.
If you Christian, you had to figure out, am I a black Christian or I'm just a Christian? Right? Like I remember a few years ago, we battled the LGBT girl. She said, I'm LGBTQ first,
right,
before being black.
Right.
And then, I think the same weekend, the bouncer threw the broad down the stairs in the gay club, threw her down the damn stairs. I thought we was gay. I thought, what the hell happened to the gayness? Right. Go ahead, who are the other? Come on, bro.
That's like the question. This from my precepts. What would the fig leaf one?
Genesis.
It's Genesis. It's the one in Genesis 9:7.
Not 9, 1.
Genesis
1 and 3, no, not 1, 2 or 3, 3. 3. The fig leaves, or any one of them fig leaves there is fine.
I just want to make sure I was.
Come on with it. Come on with it.
Genesis 3:7, and the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked,
and
they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons.
Right. What is he naked and the eyes of them when say it again? The eyes of them were open.
Let me go.
Let me catch up with you.
Let me go one verse up.
Right. You put the picture up. Right. So you see that's what real dreadlocks look like. Not that thing that Busta Rhymes had, or that thing that Lil Wayne dreads now. That's what real dreadlocks look like. That old nasty thing. Not something locked down tight with a loctician every 2 weeks or every week and washed often and all type of stuff. Yeah, I mean, real old school dreadlock growers knew you had to go and get a certain mud and put in your hair to help the thing knot up and mat up, and because the original dreads wasn't that skinny thing you roll. It was them big thing that looked like tree roots. It's just dirty. You get the point? So that's what's on the screen is real dreadlocks. That's East Indian culture. That's not us. You get the point? Keep it up, all right? Where you at now?
Genesis chapter 3.
Mm-hmm.
The verse is verse 7, but I know we can go up a couple verses.
All right, sure. You can start with 7. Let's see what it do.
The book of Genesis 3:7, and the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons.
Go ahead.
Verse 8, and they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God amongst the trees of the garden.
Hold on, where's the shame part? Now let's go back. Hold on. Let's go back to Genesis 2 and start at 24.
Genesis 2:24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. Verse 25. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed.
Right. So now the Christians read this and think Adam and Eve was butt naked. Right. That's not what it was. Right. They were both naked, meaning they didn't have no other covering but the Lord. They was like how people say, depends on the context. They be like, man, you naked out here. You get the point? You ain't got a phone, you ain't got a strap, you ain't got whatever it is. Right. Man, you out here naked. What's going on with you? Go ahead.
There's a term in programming. Right? In programming, when somebody lays a program and there's nothing added to it, they call it vanilla.
Okay.
Meaning that there's no other
it's pure.
added to it. It's pure.
It's pure as it could be.
And there's nothing on it. They call it
vanilla. Right? So it's like that. It's like, this thing is like pure and there's nothing on it, and you naked. You didn't have no covering. But it says they were naked and not ashamed. Right? Some old carnal fool who think curls at the side of his head would read this and be like, and put on the sinister damn smile and expose himself to the little kid. Because naked and not ashamed. That's not what it means. It means we was niggers and we are not ashamed to be niggers. That's what it means. They was the Lord's people and they was not ashamed. They was not ashamed before the Moabites, before the Ammonites, which is the Chinese and the Japanese, before the Hamites, before the Elamites. They were not at all ashamed of it. They were happy to be, they was content with being the Lord's people. Just like your sons and daughters. You put them in some clothes, they're not ashamed. Shame comes after they come back from school. When they left this morning, they was fine with the little paler shoes. But by 2:30, when you pick them up, they're looking all sad. What's wrong? But by 6 o'clock, you finding out that the kids done made them feel a way about their shoes, and now they're ashamed. That's Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve was naked, didn't have any other covering but whatever the Lord gave them. That's it. You get the point? And they were not ashamed because they were not like the other nations. And that's our problem. We are ashamed because we are not like the other nations. When instead of trying to join them, we need to build our own nation. We need to be Israelites and Jews and not Israelis and Jewish. What they hand up? Go ahead.
A good example for parents of that same analogy is the first time your daughter who's used to having braids in her hair comes back and asks for a lace front or an Indian hair. She's ashamed.
Listen.
Somebody made her ashamed of her hair. Now she has to put on the hair of the Indians.
Listen, I get in front of that, brother.
Right.
I get in front of that earlier.
Right.
I pull up pictures and said, look at this ugly thing right here. Look at this ugly thing right here. Look at this nasty. She got that dirty brown. She ain't got your cute brown, man. Right. Your brown is cute and nice, and your hair is way better. I done got in front of that shit. Try to shame them, man. See if they laugh in your face. Right. And if they get shamed, then they gotta deal with me at the door. But that shit ain't coming in here. Salaki. You get the point? Go. You got the answer? No sweat. Salaki. Probably got the corner of my mouth. So that's where the first shame comes from. Go ahead. 1 second, I'm gonna come to it. So now go to 3. Yeah.
I will come to the next chapter, verse 1, or go down to 7.
7.
Genesis 3:7. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked.
Not 2, but it was Genesis 24.
2 and 24. Sorry.
2 and 24, and then Genesis 3 and 7.
It was just 24.
It was just 24?
And 25.
Okay, no sweat. 24 and 25, and then 3 and 7. To water 2, Shabbat. Go ahead.
And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked.
That's a child in school. The eyes of them both now were open because they done take up this tree, which is another philosophy. And it's like, the Lord telling you, don't eat this pork, but this pork is delicious. Your father telling you, our father Abanawa telling you, don't get high. But shit, Elam and them got the, loud, and their eyes is open, and now they are ashamed to be so pure. They're ashamed to not do that thing. And it's something, it's so spiritual, and it's something, a phenomenon that needs to be studied, because in the black community, we shame people for not being evil, especially kids.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I'm gonna come to your Warren. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I give this reference a lot, just within my years, you know, being here, in general. When I was younger, I can remember being in, you know, I can remember being 10 years old, 9 years old, and running around the, you know, the neighborhoods, and the females that was around of all ages that was in the neighborhoods, chilling on the corner, whatever, would look at it being ill if people were smoking. I watched it because as one group was trying to get me, you know, hit me, and another, I'm watching the females be like, ew, you smoking a die. Today, you look at it as a dweeb if you
ain't getting high.
If you ain't getting high, but you ain't. It's a lot of these account.
Yeah, you made to be evil. You made fun of because you're not evil,
right?
And that child will feel ashamed because they not, you know, doing the other shit. You get the point? Go ahead.
I remember even in elementary school, as young as elementary school, young brothers and sisters used to have to lie about if they had sex or not.
That's it. Listen now. Listen, you going to school with the condom in the wallet and making sure that there you go. And making sure that bitch fall out every time you open the wallet just to start the conversation. You get the point? It's crazy, it's absolutely crazy. And this is, you know, it's really peer pressure. Right. So now the eyes was open, and then they became ashamed. But before they didn't know all about this stuff the serpent talking about, this, which is the white man. They don't know what he talking about. And it's really the same corruption that happens today with your kids. This oppressor, he makes your children feel inadequate. And that, you know, those constant blows against their self-esteem takes a toll, and then it starts to attack you financially. Go ahead.
You seem like it was like that before this part of Genesis, because the Lord had to put Adam in a deep sleep just to even take a woman of his own family.
Okay. Yes. It's brilliant, that. That's you're right. Okay, I'm gonna put you on to something else. Everybody here on the deep sleeper, because in this context, who you with now in the world, you was never looking at that motherfucker, man or woman. Man or woman, you think you really love your rib now, or you sisters, you really think you love your other one? They like to call my other one, my other one, my other one, until he say la ah. Then he a no good nigga. But he a other one until then. You think you love him now? You had to be, you know, you had to be down persuaded into this brother or this sister. Because in the world, you would not have chosen. You wouldn't, you know, you get anything. It's just, that's just it is. Your taste is different when you come into the truth. It's like going on a diet. Right. You change your whole diet. You move to a new country. You change your whole diet. All of a sudden, your taste for certain things is gone. You get the point? So in a way, yeah, it's in a way like that. You know, in a way, you know what I mean? But here for sure, this was ashamed of who they were and decided to sew fig leaves onto themselves, adopt the culture of the nations to hide in it. And is the picture still up? Come on, I told you to leave the picture up. God damn it. Where are you going to? Is it back up now? That picture right there is hiding in the culture of the East Indians and labeling it as Ethiopian. Like we so shame, we hiding in two different nations. Imagine that, the tribe of Benjamin is so ashamed of being niggas from the islands with that funny accent and the music, and nobody could understand Shaba. You so ashamed of that. You go hide behind East Indian and then call yourself an Ethiopian. That's how bad it is. when you could just be black, nigga. You could just be who the hell you are and serve the Lord. It's a win-win. You get the point? So that's would be a fig leaves. Go ahead,
Like, if I could, I can't remember his name. Officer
Kayadwan.
Mm-hmm. Give it up to him.
Damn right, give it up for Kayadwan, huh? You listen to the interview? Yeah, he handled Mutabaruka. And listen, even that guy he handles, he got famous being this poet, like a laureate, like somebody who's into poetry and literature and arts. Now he does radio and stuff like that. But he's an old school Rastafarian icon. And he is, I mean, he would walk barefoot in protest. He would not wear shoes and shit like that. He would walk barefoot. And he had the dreads and all kind of shit. And he think he's, you know, and he had a deep voice. So you hear him talk, you know, you see things something glorious. And Kayadwan stood up to him. And in the culture, that's something very difficult to do because of how hierarchical the Benjamite culture is. It's like a hierarchy. Like he's the elder head, and how you question him. Kayadwan say, well, prove you're Ethiopian. He say, right now? Right now you want me to prove it. You see, you're kind of unfair. In fact, we're going to stop the interview there. He ran from the young brother. Totally ran from him because Kayadwan is not ashamed to be a nigga. He is. That's why he say, I'm an Ethiopian. Prove it. Huh? Right now? You're not no damn Ethiopian, man. You wasn't having rice dropped off in Kingston with flies on your eyes. I remember them we are the world, we are the children. I remember that shit. Right. That old big skinny ass baby with the big distended gut. And the vulture right there next to it. I remember that shit. That wasn't us. So it's the shame of it. But let's get back to the whole thing. Dreadlocks, just cut the shit off. It's nasty and dirty. If you want to be in here. If you don't want to be in here, no sweat, go ahead. Wear your dreads, man. You know. Go ahead.
Exactly, sir. And the funny part about it is, while we're trying to be like them, they admire us. Like, for example, there's some photographer from Palestine.
Mm-hmm.
He's a famous photographer who was, recording all the stuff that's happening there. He had to flee. So he came into a university of Michigan. And some people picked him up because he was going to give a speech there about the situation in Palestine. So some sisters who organized it picked him up. And he asked for the aux cord in the car because he wanted to play some music while he drove.
Right.
So I said, okay, they want to see what kind of music he liked. He put some Bobby Shmurda. He definitely going to put on some Palestinian music.
Some yeah. Listen, there's a video of the Asians shampooing their hair and they turn it into afro. And they're using some needle. Why are you trying to bring their shit in here? They want what we have because what we have is of the Lord. It's flavorful. Once again, I ain't seen no Chinese man shaving his head and making them little curly things.
Right.
I ain't seen no Chinese man do that shit.
Right.
But I could show you a million concert crowd sold out for Ninja Man and Buju Banton in 1991 in Japan. I could show you a Japanese reggae sound system right now. I could show you a Japanese trap rap artist right now. You get the point? Come on.
They even huge Chicano.
No, that's not Japanese. That's the Filipinos. The Filipinos love the Mexican culture and tattoo themselves and get the low rides and wear the tall socks with the what is called the chucks, the Converse chucks and the plaid and lift the chin up like a vato. But they're not Mexican. But nobody trying to shave their head and wear the little curly things, though. Nobody trying to do that shit. Go ahead, Shaw.
Yeah, so like I said, at the same time we're on here, right? I want to know, like, if it has some, if the daughters are Zion and curses are the most I would hear.
Curses.
Yeah, like, you know how when you watch with sisters and them, they have plenty short here. I want to know, like, if they the most I doing that, like, do that when you watch with sisters, they hear short. I know it's like.
No, come on, you gotta let them live, Shaw. You gotta let them live. I'm trying to promote unity, Shaw. Yes, that's definite. It's definitely in the Bible. It's in Isaiah 3. Isaiah chapter 3. No, Shaw, I will tell you, not all sisters are suffering that. No, there's some sisters, they come with that full head forest on their head. You know what I mean? Not all sisters going through that, but like the brothers say, obey your man, you get your edges back. You know what I mean? I'm paraphrasing. But give me Isaiah 3. Where is this? 16, you have it? Go ahead.
Yes, we're saying based on responsibility now, and you be responsible. Now you see how we can dabble or jump into their culture and take up that responsibility to hold power. Now,
right.
For us to be, as we say, a people, and to be black, to be a black man or a black woman, we fail to take that responsibility because now it's something that we know that if we don't take it, we take shame towards ourselves.
Yeah, it comes from a low self-esteem because nobody want to be responsible for niggas. Who the hell wants to do that? Right. You know what I mean? Everybody want to be responsible for LeBron James and Ant-Man and Beyonce, but nobody wants to be responsible for the brother in Detroit. I owe him 1,000 apologies. This Saturday coming on the show, Lord of Law, we're gonna go into it. You all remember the brother who say I'm pulling up right now? Right. Come to find out, his license was valid for the past 2 years. He was not driving with no suspended license. Yeah. The guy that was on the yeah, he was not driving with a suspended license. That's why he looked so confused about the charges. It was a clerical error in the Detroit MVA that had him not having a license. And this brother was so righteous. He obeyed the judge. He didn't even contest it. That's why he said, oh my God, he didn't even contest the shit. He turned himself in and spent 2 days in jail for nothing. Nobody don't want to be in charge of that. Everybody want to be in charge of the shit that the nations love. The nations love LeBron. LeBron is ours. The nations love the girl Angel Reese. She's ours. I think she's married, brothers. I think she has a man. See what I'm saying? Y'all ain't love the little short hair girl who's working on the jump shot on the basketball court. Y'all love Angel Reese. Angel Reese ain't got no hair either. That's a long ass believer. I'm trying to tell you, ain't shit under there, but 3-pointers and rebounds. That's what she's trying to tell you. You get the point? But you understand? I'm joking, of course, but you understand what I'm saying? Like, we don't value our people. We don't want nothing to do with us. Mexicans who have citizenship don't want Mexicans who cross any border in America. We don't want nothing to do with us. And that's where the lack of accountability comes from. Let me get the scripture for Shah real quick, all right? Go ahead, please.
Chapter 3, verse 16. Moreover, the Lord said, because the daughters of Zion are haughty.
Right? Haughty meaning proud. Proud and stiff-necked. Proud and don't want to yield to authority. Go ahead.
And walk with stretched forth necks.
See, stretched forth necks like they're proud. Go ahead.
And wanton eyes.
And wanton eyes, like eyes that's real desirous and seductive and always seeking. Go ahead.
Walking and mincing as they go.
Mincing steps, making that noise with the heels and that switching. Mincing as they go. Go ahead.
And making a twinkling with their feet.
They're making a tinkling with their feet, making that noise. Go ahead.
Therefore, the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head.
Right? Therefore, the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of their head. You get it? And the curses go on too. So it's not saying because of their walking and mincing. It's talking about the pride to disobey the Lord. Right. You understand? It's talking about that part, and that it's definitely a curse where the Lord put on our sisters and some of our sisters where the inability to grow the hair. All right? Sure, that's good enough for you?
Yes, and I guess that one more thing, right? You know, down here now to the Elam and all to right here, the problem is we have, right? They know like they always want no, not Elam, but we brothers on the right side that they say like like when they say like everything black, when it good is a little bit, and when it good is a little bit, and when it bad is plentiful. So that is thing like when we when black here, like they come and say oh yeah, East Indian in here. Yeah, East Indian in here because then I say I don't tell them I say this, I say I really like to downgrade black people because it's like we can have nice here as long as we are nice here. We get from East Indian start to and say if I put up a picture of Marcelo, right?
Wash them cups out there. Wash them cups out. Say again.
So I put I tell them I say if I put up a picture of Marcelo or David Luiz or Williams,
right?
I say, will you say them are East Indian and them? And then they will say no, I say right, that's why, but they know they're in Brazil and thing right, but they look just like we might not see them big, but because we here now, you could just say, yeah, we have East Indian and we here, but whenever the brothers and them, they're looking just like we might not see now Marcelo is a East Indian or David Luiz is a East Indian.
Exactly. It's a form of self-hatred that come from the slavery and the oppression with the abuse, right? Marcelo and David Luiz and them, they are Brazilian football players. They're Israelite. I ain't so sure about David Luiz, but I know Marcelo and William, they brothers. But now here, okay, this is where you had to go with him. You had to go with people who from here who black and don't have East Indian. And it's clear they don't have no East Indian, and you show them that that's us too. You get the point? We have a whole community of native Indian people in Trinidad, who they call the Carib and the Arawak, right? Even Asha would come up from Venezuela into Trinidad, and there's many brothers and sisters who you and I grew up with that have, Sanchez and Alvarez, and they have them names, but growing up without the truth, you don't realize that these is tribes growing up with you. And some of them is Benjamites, just have a tribe mother. And it's the same thing, but it definitely comes from a self-hatred that comes from the oppressor. You understand?
Yeah.
So yeah, you for sure right, but let them sisters live, let them live. They going through hell already. They're going through hell already. Don't bring it up unless she call you out your name or something. But don't bring it up. Love these short here. All right. Where was that? We good with the here? No, so let's get them last 3 questions and we're done. Also, let me the last thing I want. Give me the questions. Like I'm gonna tell you the last scripture with it. So again, it's better the Jew and Israelite is the Lord's people. Israeli and Jewish is not. That's politics and government rule and stuff like that. Go ahead.
I.S.U.P.K. Connecticut, your lie says, Salaki Adawan, is there a restriction or guidelines on a man with long hair? And then Kwama Ida says, if I may, sir, how do I handle my grandson with dreads and his mom allows him to keep it, but he wants to come to events with me in I.S.U.P.K?
He could come to the events. How old is your grandson? How old is your grandson? That's what I would know. I would need to know. How old is your grandson? And I would just let him start coming. Just let him start coming to the events, regardless of his age. Just let him start coming to the events. If he's old enough, like a grown man, he eventually gonna cut it himself. If he's a young man, he'll be equipped enough to cut it when the time is right, but just let him start coming. Right. Now, okay. Now, having the dreads don't mean you can't come in class. You could come in class and sit and learn. You can't become a trooper with dreads. You can't become an officer with dreads. A sister can't get her name with dreads in her hair. But you're free to come to class. You come to the cookouts, all that. You come in there and you learn. You learn as you go along. I sat in class for 2 years before I took scissors to my hair. I'm going to tell you straight up, I was hard-headed as they come. And I advise you to cut it within 2 seconds of hair and cut your hair. I wasted 2 years. It wasn't worth it. Right. It was not worth it. Leave that shit the hell alone. Don't fight nothing. Right? It wasn't worth the fight. It wasn't worth the time. I don't know what the hell I was doing. I thought I was making a stand. So I thought I was over here making a stand. I'll come in Babylon and cut my dread. I'll come in Babylon, in the heart of Babylon, in DC, and cut my dreads. You must be mad. Yeah. No. All right. So whatever age he is, just bring him to the functions. What's the other question?
Is there a restriction on how long a man's hair?
No, there's no restriction. You could grow it as long as you want. You could cut it as short as you want. Just don't bald your hair. Don't go all bald. However, I would advise you, if you could grow your hair, grow that shit and braid it down. Make that shit look tight. Shit just look strong and masculine as ever. If you could grow it. If you can't grow it, don't sweat it. Just don't bald your head. All right. You could cut it down low. You could cut it low if you need to. If you're balding, you could cut it down low. Or if your hair just don't grow that long, you could cut it down low. You don't have to have long hair. You don't have to have short hair. Have the hair you want to have. You get the point? Have the hair you want to have. Give me 1 Corinthians 11. I'll just get that real quick. Also, a warrior, find me where we're talking about binding the law to your arm and your forehead in the Old Testament, please.
You want Corinthians chapter 11, verse.
Know ye not that is doth not nature teach you? 14.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14. Doeth not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him?
Right. It doesn't nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him. Like is asking, if he have it, what's long? If his hair grow hair, is it long to somebody who hair grows longer? Is that a shame unto him? Nature will teach you what's long. Wherever your hair stops, that's the length of your hair. And you could cut it shorter if you want to, or leave it there if you want to. It's whatever you want to do. All right. Go ahead.
Sidebar on the scripture.
Come on.
Appreciating the benefit of being in the school and just being able to receive the breakdown from men that understand the scriptures, just seeing how the entire world will look at a man having long hair as something when they try to bring it into the Bible, how it's not supposed to happen, and you're supposed to get that shape up and cut your hair off and makes you look more masculine and all the stuff that I can't believe. Like the amount of times growing up, my mother tried to pay me to cut my hair.
Oh yeah, for real?
Yeah, pay me to cut my hair. Pay me as a kid growing up. My father didn't care. My father would always say, "It's his hair, it's their hair. Let him grow the hair out." But my mother, she would always try to pay us to cut our hair, and she wasn't even the one doing it, but she was doing our hair. But she would be the one to say, like, "Oh, to cut it and all that and above." Early years coming into the school, she'd be like, "You need to get rid of it. You just need to get rid of it. It looks crazy, it looks messy,
right?
All this and above." Just to hear it, just how you is it like putting the spirit into it? Is it is it a shame to him?
Right.
Hearing that breakdown, like it allows me, it shines a light on just the difference from learning, the scriptures from somehow learning about the Bible from a Christian narrative and perspective.
Right. I know you find the truth
of it.
No.
You find the truth, you hear it like, is it? Like you need to hear that context or to really understand what it's saying.
What is this?
Read it for plain English. You might say it is.
Yeah, it's a shame on him, but that's not, and all throughout the Bible. Listen, Samson had long hair that needed braiding. David's son Absalom, got caught in the tree, but they say he used to cut his hair every year. That's how much it would grow. You know what I mean? So they don't know what the hell they're talking about. All right, Bukwash?
Just to piggyback off of that, I was in Esau's military, and whenever I was on leave, I would grow my beard out. As much as I could. Until the last second I had to go back into the slave. Then I would
listen, I feel it. I was the opposite. I kept my dreads until Hebrew Academy morning. 2007. I remember it. I went and bought some clippers the Saturday, and the Sunday morning about 5 a.m. I get up in the morning, I wash that shit out, dry that shit, and stood in front of the mirror and say, all right, time to go. Snip, snip, then take the clippers and run that shit off. Come out. Me and Nathak was roommates. I come out of the room. He's like, what the fuck? And that was the beginning. I waited till the last minute, brother. Listen, I got the ultimatum Friday in camp. I used to go to the camp still, all black, and sit on the little blocks outside of 12th and G. At that time, it was 12th and G, and we was going between 12th and G and 7th and H. I used to go to the camp and just wait and watch the camp and help them pack up everything. And Jeremiah Hyman said, listen, man, Commander YAHANNA is inviting you to the Hebrew Academy. I don't know when the next one would be, but if you have to come and you got to cut your hair. And I was still adamant. I'm going with the bluff. I'm thinking, well, I'll get the call to still come sometime. Ain't no call come. But I was ready to make the sacrifice still. I waited to the last minute. It doesn't make sense. You ain't proving nothing to nobody. Cut them dreads off. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, let me get that one I was asking for. Binding the law.
Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 6. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. Right,
and no, that's if you're an Israelite, you could feel and understand what he's saying. Teach it to your children when you're laid down, when you're rising up. You ain't actually, going and do it like that, but you get the point. Like, do it in everything, right? Keep going.
And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thy hand, and they shall be as a frontlets between thine eyes.
So now he's saying, teach them the law. He said, bind them for a sign in your hands, and they shall be frontlets between your eyes. Go ahead, Bukash.
I have a picture up of the Jewish man that is binding it to his.
Well, listen, you jumped the gun. You're right. Okay, no, that's it. Israelite, no. What does that mean? When you say bind them to your hands as a reminder, and put them in the frontlets of your in between your eyes. What does that mean? As an Israelite, what does that mean?
If I could, before I answer, I remember I was in high school. Well, not in high school. I was in school around 9/11, and I seen this so-called Jewish man tie that thing around his. I didn't know what he was doing.
You thought he was going. Yeah, you thought he was going to set the bomb off.
Yeah, to keep it in front of you, basically, to keep it with you, to keep it on you, to make it part of you.
It's to make it part of you. It's not even to keep it with you or on you. This is just make this thing part of your life.
Right.
This is take this law and bind it to your hands. Meaning what? Whatever you set your hands to do, make your hands do it according to the law.
That's right.
If they really cared about that, they wouldn't be signing them brothers to them nasty 360 deals.
Right.
Because that shit is unlawful. You robbing people. They don't care about that. So they're hypocrites. If it's in between your eyes, what's in between your eyes? Your forehead, your brain. Is like put this on your forehead. Like let that be in the front of your mind. You get the point? That's what it's saying. It's saying just like you would tell your children it. When they go in, they come in, they're laying down, the this, the that. Talk to your children when they're sitting in the house. Teach them all these things. They say, listen, bind this here. The Jewish man, he's literal. He actually has a small Tanakh, smaller than this, small, tiny book with the law, all the first 5 books. And he ties it on a string to his hand, and then they tie it on the front of the head like a little block. Idiot. In that same Tanakh on the forehead, it says, thou shalt not kill, which means murder. And thou shalt not remove thy brother's landmark, thy neighbor's landmark. What are they doing to the Palestinians now? Hypocrites. It's supposed to remind you, but they don't give a damn about none of that, because they're Israelis and the Jewish. We Israelites and we the real Jews. Right. And we have a conscience. We have such a conscience. You have brothers and sisters who be coming to class. They're in the 90 days. And in the 90 days, Satan, they don't understand it. Satan doesn't want you to complete the 90 days. So round about day 65, 65 to 70, just when you're weeks away, some shit comes out of left field that you think is a huge problem, and you either start, getting high, or you just start falling back a little bit, and then Satan leaves you, and then you realize what you did, still within the 90 days, and you're ashamed, and you don't come to class because in your mind you're a hypocrite, and how could you go sit with brothers? And you don't know how righteous you are for even thinking like that. Meanwhile, they moil, and their pastors and their preachers and their reverends would molest kids and put the baby penis in their mouth and get the baby herpes. And they'll go in the synagogue the next day and act like nothing happened. But you who go through 400 years of slavery and oppressed, you make a little mistake as you trying to get right. What the scriptures say, a righteous man falls 7 times. For him to fall 7 times, he had to get back up. You make a little mistake and you count yourself accountable. That you can't even come and sit in a chair. The world is for you, nigga. You the real Jew. And what you don't know is, it happens to everybody. The 90 days, round about 65, 70 days, brother, Satan wants to see what you're made of. And he's going to attack you. You had to come to that door and knock on it, regardless of what the hell going on in your life, and tell somebody so you could learn how to fight it. You could learn how to fix it. But the fact that you sit there and you charge yourself, imagine this. Imagine how you have to be as a person, your psyche, where you charge yourself for 2 months of learning something you should have learned all your life. Right. It's only been 2 months. But you make a mistake and you charge yourself. You hold yourself so accountable. You should be in charge. You should be in charge. You should have been in Detroit correcting that brother's license, because that white woman or that white man who made that clerical error, they don't give a damn. Right. You make one little mistake that nobody even know. But the fact that you know is enough to convict your spirit. You should be in charge. Right. You the real Jew, not them. Go ahead, Al.
My first week in class, and they broke down the sex was marriage, you destroying sisters by doing that. I'm trying to call sisters my bad.
Listen, I remember. I think I have to tell you, don't even worry about it. Listen, brother, that is righteous act. That is righteous. And listen, they would look at you like you weird. But when they put on the phone, they'll feel good. You understand? How do I know? Because Sexy Red just come and say what? I was the wildest thing that happened to me is I was raped, and them niggas laugh. You get the point? Them niggas laughed at it because it's uncomfortable to talk about. It's uncomfortable to talk about. You understand? What I want to know is how she could say that's the wildest thing that happened to her and then tell other girls, bend over, let that PUSSY breathe. Like, what's in her brain? Right. Like, at that time, at least you're supposed to know that that's some bullshit. But again, the oppression. And the people who wear the yarmulkes and all that type of stuff is making sure to pay her enough to defile herself and her people. Right. You get the point? With that, any more questions? We good to go? Any more questions? You'll get them tomorrow. With that, pass the class over to Priest and Officer Shapata. No, go ahead. You do your thing.
I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We're the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When new brother and sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to shade themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, in the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means 10th in Hebrew is pronounced I.S.U.P.K. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation, Feast of First Fruits, starts after the Sabbath Feast of Unleavened Bread, sundown, Sunday, April the 28th, 2024. Count 50 days. Celebrate the 50th day, Monday, June the 17th, 2024. Start before sundown. Shalom. You can find this in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 10 through 22. And we also have the I.S.U.P.K annual cookouts. We got the Atlanta cookout, July 4th to the 7th. The Detroit Midwest cookout is August 1st to the 4th. The headquarters New York cookout, August the 30th to September 2nd. The Southern Cali cookout, September 26th to the 29th. And the Houston cookout from October 31st to November 3rd. Anything else you would like to ask, sir?
We have June 14th and 15th, Buffalo, New York. Come on, Johnny Hanna have an event. You're going to be up there doing interviews for that Juneteenth weekend. Make sure you'll make it up to Buffalo. We good?
Come on, sir. My outlet and check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, you should start wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirts, black pants, black headband, or scarf. With that, I say I might be, which means to stand. We'll give a courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Imam Shabbat, Michael, Barak,
Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatam. Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatam.
Yah Yumatal, class dismissed.